newest political party on the ballot in 3 states. Democrats are concerned that a third-party option, which recently acquired ballot access in 3 states and plans to run a presidential candidate in 2024, could potentially spoil the election outcome by swinging it to the Republicans. No Labels, an organization aiming to offer a moderate alternative to the 2 major political parties in the 2024 U.S. presidential election, has successfully gotten enough backing to feature themselves on ballots in Colorado, Arizona, and Oregon. The group is facing a lot of criticism for their actions, which some have described as an attempt to damage President Biden's chances in the upcoming elections, while others are accusing them of plain old grift. Rather than producing a third-party ticket that would defy the overwhelming odds and win, No Labels is on track to field a spoiler who would re-elect Trump or a Trump-like Republican, think tank Third Way said in a memo this week. With both President Biden and ex-President Trump looking likely to compete for the U.S. presidency again, speculation about the potential of a third party is gaining more traction than ever before, from conservatives and progressives alike. Presidential contenders from outside the 2 major parties have failed to draw substantial backing in elections. According to Politico's Tuesday report, Third Way issued a cautionary memo claiming that third-party candidates have little chance of victory in the general election, and would likely poach the votes of those who were intended to go towards the Democratic nominee.
U.S. government moves to avert potential banking crisis. In an effort to prevent a potential banking crisis, the U.S. government announced measures to address the failure of 2 major banks, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Silicon Valley Bank's collapse was the second largest in U.S. history. The government's announcement included assurances that all depositors with Silicon Valley Bank could access their money, even if their deposits exceeded the $250,000 insurance limit. The Federal Reserve also announced an emergency lending program to prevent bank runs and instability in the economy. This program permits banks to borrow funds to pay depositors. Experts believe these measures should help stabilize the financial markets. President Joe Biden has pledged to continue strengthening oversight and regulation of larger banks. U.S. Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, confirmed that Silicon Valley Bank would not receive a government bailout following its collapse. However, she added that regulators are working to ensure that the bank's customers will be made whole. Yellen also emphasized that the American banking system is safe and well-capitalized, notwithstanding the collapse of SVB, which specialized in lending to tech startups. She stated that the federal government would not rescue Silicon Valley Bank but is working to help depositors who have more than $250,000 in their accounts. An acquisition by another institution is under consideration, but no buyer has emerged as of yet. Deposits that are insured by the federal government are supposed to be available by Monday morning. Hundreds of migrants try to force their way into U.S. at Mexico border. By Jose Luis Gonzalez. Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, March 12, Reuters. U.S. officials stopped hundreds of mostly Venezuelan migrants entering the country from Mexico on Sunday after a large group broke through Mexican lines to demand asylum in the U.S., only to be thwarted by barbed wire, barriers and shields. Frustrated with problems securing appointments to seek asylum using a new U.S. government app, the migrants gathered at the frontier in the Mexican border city of Ciudad Juarez, but could not breach the crossing connecting the 2 countries. Many of the migrants had small children with them. At one point, some migrants attempted to hurl an orange, plastic barrier at the U.S. line, Reuters images show. Some people said pepper spray was deployed to repel them. "Please, we just want to get in so we can help our families," said Camila Paz, an 18-year-old Venezuelan, sobbing heavily. "So I can have a future and help my family." Neither U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, nor the Mexican government's National Migration Authority immediately replied to requests for comment. After some pushing and shoving with the officials, the crowd of migrants eventually withdrew, with some heading down to the banks of the Rio Grande where they were monitored by U.S. immigration officials arrayed on the other side. Many migrants have become fed up with the asylum process since the Biden administration made an app called CBP-1 available to them that was meant to streamline applications. They say the app is beset by persistent glitches and high demand, leaving them in limbo in perilous border regions. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has said recent app updates will simplify and speed up the process. Describing her situation as horrible, Paz said she had been trying to cross the border for a month, watching her money disappear and getting no nearer to claiming asylum. "We want answers, please," she said. "The CBP-1 application has done absolutely nothing for us."